The Friedrich-Ebert-Stiftung and sometimes the EU have gone a long way to fill in so many gaps that exist when it comes to security management and security architecture programs in Nigeria. Now the missing link becomes the media. That's why we gathered the media here today since Tuesday to tell them, how do you do conflict-sensitive reporting? We took time to select media actors from across all platforms that has to do with media, from print to electronic. Even bloggers were also here.
I work with TVC News.
I'm a climate and security reporter with Human Angle Media.
I work with the News Agency of Nigeria.
I'm an investigative journalist with Crossover Watch.
I write for legit.ng, an online platform.
I'm a reporter with KT 103.1 FM in Jos.
I'm the assistant crime editor for Vanguard Media.
PRTV, that is Plateau Radio Television in Plateau State.
I'm the group features editor for this day newspaper.
A broadcast journalist, Cool and Wazobia FM Kano.
I'm a journalist with the Guardian newspaper.
I am a reporter with Global Sentinel, the security-focused online media platform.
I think we try to look at the system in the Horn of Africa, where we have violent extremism and a lot of insecurity with Al-Shabaab. And we went to the Lake Chad Basin, which of course Nigeria is part of the Lake Chad Basin area, where we also have Boko Haram, issue of insecurity, issue of criminality, poverty, so on and so forth. And then we looked at the Sahel region. Of course, Nigeria is also a part of the Sahel region. And then we look at the Gulf of Guinea. Then we zeroed in on Nigeria to look at the multiple issue of insecurity in Nigeria, from the violent extremism in the northeast, from the conflict between farmers and pastoralists that was formerly in the middle of Nigeria, but now almost everywhere.
In the context of the kind of experience Nigeria is having, with a multiplicity of security challenges, inclusive of even cases of rights violation by these security actors.
Police brutality, the insecurity that we're grappling in virtually every part of the country shows something is wrong with our security system. And so, which also means that there's need for reform. So for me, that's what's like a red flag for me to participate in the training.
I've been a victim of abuse of office, judicial rascality, abuse by the police, I see that the only way I can protect myself, my newsroom and my colleagues is to get equipped, is to get in touch with what is happening. For every investigative journalist and for media house managers, it is important to participate in such training and at such timing.
So the training was just built around an effort to expose media practitioners to some of the tools that will enable them cover the defense and security sector better, and also expose realities that will then demand for much more in-depth and robust reform of the security sector in Nigeria.
I've learned about the various aspects of security, the players in the security sector, and how we as writers can use our pens and our writings to bring about reforms in the security sector.
Like yesterday was the marking of 1 year anniversary of the EndSARS, and most journalists went about their business to go and cover this. And they had an encounter with security agents who also tried to arrest them for doing their job. So if you find yourself in this situation, what do you do? This is part of what the workshop is talking about. And this is at the core of the security sector reform we are talking about. The component I facilitated is investigative reporting in a fragile state and field work in a fragile situation. When journalists go beyond the surface to uncover corruption cases, to ensure that they hold the government officials accountable and dig deeper to some things that happen in the society to bring it to limelight.
Information, for some reasons, are being hidden from journalists. Sometimes they are not comfortable. Some of them see journalists as threats. So in such situations, one has to go into investigative journalism to be able to get such information, and if it's necessary for public consumption, we put it out to the space.
Before now, I used to have this passion to do reports, like investigative reports, so that I could have a good name, or do stories that would, cause trouble, as most people, because most journalists, they feel fulfilled if their stories cause trouble. But now I've learned that it's not just about writing stories because you want people to, you want to cause some turbulence somewhere, but it's about writing stories that actually have impact. So with that, I have that in my consciousness that whatever I'm writing, I have to be intentional about it. What does this tend to solve? And who are the target audience? What do you want achieved after this? So I'm more conscious of that now than I used to before. And in every day of my reports, I see it guiding me going forward.
Because the journalists, the media personnel are more like the interface between the public and, of course, those involved in security.
For the first section of the facilitation, I tried, to demonstrate how the whole idea of the security sector have not reflected the inclusivity principle that is key to providing security in a transparent and responsible manner. And this is built against the backdrop that, women constitute close to 50%. Women constitute about 49% of the Nigerian population. And therefore, the principle of democracy presupposes inclusivity. And so where you have a security sector that does not reflect, this huge percentage of women, both in terms of the numerical strength, but also the occupation of strategic leadership and management position of these institutions. There is always the reality we have seen that security provision tend not to reflect the basic realities, the specificities, and the unique needs of women and girls in Nigeria.
When you get to the top, the hierarchy of every security agency, you don't even find women there. What are the problems, and how can we actually solve this problem? The point is making sure that a lot of women enlist into the security agencies, and when they are there, another thing is to make sure that there are also strategies or plans to make sure that they also move in the same plan or the same speed with their male counterparts.
Knowing very well that women and children suffer more when there is a crisis, when there is insecurity. I believe that if a woman gets to the top, maybe there will be a tender touch, something different that will bring, a reduction in the problem we are facing. So I believe one will start doing reports towards that issue, towards the need to call on government to push up women, and also to let more women come into security agencies.
With this training, I got a broader prospect, idea, and reasons why women are not usually at the top. So I now discovered that I need to have a change of mindset to address that with the knowledge I've actually gained.
We spent some time to look at the security sector governance structure of Nigeria. When we say the security sector, who heads it? Where are the decisions taken? Who are the parties to those decisions that are taken that really impact on the lives and livelihoods of Nigeria, especially looking at the number of people that are killed on a daily basis. When you see the data on a month, some states, 300 people killed, 500 kidnapped in a month. And then we have the security sector, we have the military, we have the police, the paramilitary agencies. What is happening?
I learned that, a lot is going on nationally that is being reported in the security region, but little is done in terms of the community aspect, the state aspect. Everybody is just focused on the national issue, but if you look deep down, there's need to focus more on the state issues and the community crisis, because those are also linked to what is happening nationally. For example, a terror group cannot just exist. They exist within a community. So in that sense, I feel that if we as journalists pay more attention to that state and local government crisis, it will go a long way.
National security for me is also core. You don't have to put out a story without, checking the pros and cons. How will this affect the society? What impact? What do I intend to achieve with this report?
So I facilitated the component on ethics. I tried to take the participants through what should be the proper ethical practices, both in terms of internally and externally.
So the ones that stood out for me were the part of ethics in journalism, because these days you find out that the lines continually keep being blurred. People don't know when to draw the line. People don't know when to stop. Journalists don't know when to draw the line in their reportage. So ethics was one of the things that stood out for me today. How to balance that, be fair in your reportage, be balanced, always report facts, don't assume what you were not told to do.
We had to start questioning what is it as a journalist I've been doing wrong, what could I have done better if given the chance. And we've learned, it's like, when you bring people from different, you have the print, you have, the radio, then the television, we're able to tell ourselves the truth. You don't do this the right way. This is how it should be done. Ethics.
I have been conducting several researches on child abuse, especially in Cross River State. And I have seen that when conducting my interviews with victims, I tend to, take certain pictures of their almost half face, something like that. So I've learned that you're not supposed to show the face of the victim. At least you can get their voice alone and maybe their hand, or if there's an injury, you show that part and cut out the face. And there need to be a consent, a written consent, before you put anything concerning victims out.
I did my presentation and also allowed journalists to see work that has been done by other people like Bellicat and the BBC and also myself based on previous work. I believe that journalists need to see examples. It helps them a lot to see techniques that they can use also for their work. And then also we had practical section on how to use Google Earth and other services.
Then another part that also struck me was the part of how journalists can take advantage of the tools, different tools that will enhance your reportage. Today we talked about using Google Earth, satellite images, to help us to fine-tune our reports, making use of data that is available on the internet, open sources.
Yeah, so I was part of the earlier program to educate journalists on their roles in terms of security sector reform and governance that took place in Abuja. And so here, it's like building on that. So it's like building a house. You have foundation layer by layer. So this was like the second part of that foundation process. And I got extra knowledge, also got opportunities to network with other journalists, because it's important not to work in silos. There needs to be more collaboration. There are areas where other organizations have expertise and knowledge. So it was multidimensional and multi-layered in terms of the impact of the program.
So when you have somebody that is in your space, training you on something that happens on the other space, and creating these linkages, this nexus between what we do and what is happening out there and how it should be. So it's a kind of fine way of expressing best practices across board.
It's a training, yes, but I also saw some story angles from here, which I intend to, build up on. I had some interviews here with some of the panel speakers, and I intend to do quite a number of stories from here, because I've actually seen quite a number of angles to stories.
How do you understand the current security threats that we're having in the nation, so as to know how to represent these issues properly in the media?
The media cannot do it alone, and that they need to build bridges. And in building bridges, they have to collaborate with what we call state actors, those in government, and those who are outside government, the non-state actors.
The civil society is a critical actor. Increasingly in Nigeria, we have the private, non-formal security actors. We have a lot of private institutions that are providing security. What is the coordination, collaboration, the synergy that can really have a holistic approach to addressing insecurity in Nigeria?
The role of the media and why journalists need to play a critical role if we're going to block all those gaps. I think that's what was central to me, going away from the training.
You now know that somebody somewhere will be watching your reports, and the person could be like, but Ivy, this wasn't what you were taught. So I'm going to, for each report I write, or in each story I go out to pick, I have to reevaluate what I put out there.
When I'm reporting, it should always be at the back of my mind. Will my story enhance society? Will my story make society worse or make it better?